Welcome, everybody, to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gomer, and a podcast engineer here. And I'm excited to bring you another episode of the Mastery of Connections, which we do here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Pacific, 8 a.m. Pacific, 2 o'clock a.m. Central. Um, and I'm talking about all about making connections and networking and uh, things like that. Um, and so, before we get to any updates or anything for today, I'd like to bring in um, Kurt, who is a disability ally and so on. Um, so, welcome, Kurt, and we also have our master connector here as well. Um, so, welcome, guys.
All right. Thanks, Emily. Yes, Emily and I are here in Wisconsin, and we're connecting to our friend and creator founder of this show, Alan Holmes, and getting into this show. By the way, he is from California, so we're in their trio here. We are spanning Wisconsin to California, and we're reaching out to the east and the south and the north, and friends all around the globe in all different time zones, giving us a 24-hour reach all around the world. So this is the idea of mastery of connection. And, I am, really operating and leading on the front of the World Ability Podcast Network, like Emily says. I'm a disability ally about inclusion, accessibility, and accommodation, because we want mastery of connection to be for everyone. And when we get with our friend Christian Mendez, marketing for all, it's conversation for all. And so we're all kind of in our own little way, from our own different perspective, coming in and connecting and finding that intersection. When we are gathered with others, how do we all fit together? Where is that, that point where we all come together and we can all build from what we collectively represent. So we here at the World Ability Podcast Network are really excited to have this show, Mastery of Connection, because it's really personifying, and it's really diving into how this was even possible. It was possible because I was at the state capitol in Madison, Wisconsin, met a gentleman who knows the person that connected us to Emily. And Emily and I dove into, with another colleague, she showed us the way to the Happy Neighborhood Project. And it's through all of this podcasting work that this all grew. So we're out here in live streaming video format, because this has shown in the last 4 years of our life to really work. And it's really become, a monumental, instrumental routine all around the world, that from the, disruption that the pandemic, that COVID was, and then for all of us around the world needing to adapt and say, in our hunger to connect, to just not stay safer at home and be isolated, to come and have these type of conversations. And that's how we met Alan Holmes, through the Happy Neighborhood Project, happy business networking, the happiest place in the world for business people. So the three of us are here and saying that's what we're all about. So Alan, come on in here and let's start from your inspiration of Mastery of Connections. How did you come to be that you even made it a thing that you're the master connector? How did that start, Alan?
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. For those who are listening around the world, welcome to the Mastery of Connections. And to answer your question, Kurt, it was a conversation of a little birdie named Kurt Roskoff. Back in February of this year, that the Mastery of Connection was born. Is various different resources that we actually had that conversation about just various different business opportunities and collaborating, connecting, and networking various different resources. Because sometimes we have to take off our business hat and we just want to put on our collaborative networking hat. And it's about basically networking not only within family, because I just got a kind of an urgent medical um, resource response from Christian. So I want to start and just say that hope and pray everything is on okay on his end, and I will be checking in within him. But just to let you know, Christian, we love you, we honor you and your family, and you're going through some things, and we'll be checking in a few minutes ago, a few minutes afterwards, or as soon as I can. So love you, brother. We all do. So just wanted to get that out because that popped up. But to elaborate more, Massive Connections is more of a collection or collaborating of different resources with those who are of the disability as well as those with ability, as well as the veterans and the individuals and organizations who basically have something to say, a voice. And we want to slow down, as Christian Austin says, is just take a breath and trying to figure out. Uh, we are going to figure out how we can be of resource, how can we be of service. So, as a master connector, or in this days on Wednesdays, turn to MC Holmes, we just slow down and just figure out how we can be of service. And we often have guests, and sometimes we just have conversations like this, like Conversations for All that is going to be coming up very soon on Fridays. Uh, but I would like to take a moment just to figure out or to share with some of the wonderful fall events that are coming up starting, I believe, next week. After the, well, Conversation for All is actually on Fridays, will be one of them. And then Kurt can share with maybe something with Santa Papa or some of the other great events that we want our listeners to be part of, or they could suggest ideas if you can share with us.
All right. Well, let's do this. Why don't Emily? Why don't you and I team up? Um, Emily, do you want to share some of these items on the calendar, and then I can go ahead and expound on it? We're going to have things like what I'm calling the Smooth Sailing Summit, type deal, because we got with our another friend out of California, Coach K for you. And he got us thinking back already during the summertime with the U.S. Independence Day, to kind of get people gathered and to have an event that it's more the personal side of things that come forward in building relationship. And Emily did that over the summer, and then we entertained the idea of what about doing it again. So it was kind of initially in the direction of a holiday gathering, a December thing. So we did go ahead and put plans on there, which are there, December 5th. But then talking about it with our collaborative group, it's like, what about, Halloween, as a holiday, and to do something a little sooner. So I came up with the idea of, well, why don't we do something a little bit more with formality on October 24th, which is next week. And then whatever we do on October 31st would be kind of back to that, like on July 4th, we did the 4th of July picnic, so we can have a little bit more of a costuming and dress up and, putting on our hats and, whatever, kind of being characters on October 31st. But Emily's putting together a speaker series that's about planning, prevention, protection, and, everything to avoid pitfalls. And then a little bit of, putting out the fire style, where if you're in the middle of it, what can we do to mitigate circumstances that we never want to get into, but we're there. So what do we do in despair? So Emily, do you want to talk a little bit more about these calendar items, and we can kind of color it up?
So the first one is next Thursday, October 24th, from noon to 6 Central or 10 to 4 Pacific. And if anyone is, and then the next one is December 5th same time. And it'll be on Zoom. And there'll be any like demos of the EC Expo platform. So as the speakers, if anyone is interested in being a speaker or at least attending and so on, or participating somehow, so please let me know. And I can get that taken care of. Um, and um, so yeah, that's an Easy Expo is a virtual year-round booth platform. Um, the founder is also out in California with Alan, and so you can have like a graphic or logo, videos, links, like a booth, kind of like a conference, um, and so on. But then another event is coming up is we met a guy named Stu out of Florida, and he's putting together a Jerry Lewis um, type telethon for December 15th. Um, and like a 12-hour telethon. Kurt, you want to add any more about that?
Yeah, so what we have available with that, folks, is, Stu is a very high end, very industry, renowned, TV producer. And, he really has, the relationships with very famous performers, singers, magicians, so musicians and, comedians and, people that we know from movies and stuff like that. So he's really capable and really bringing us that, nostalgic thing, because, he's with people that have been in the industry for 40 years or whatever. So, long time proven, um, you know, proven people that, we seek to, look into what they're doing next. And, so they're on the show that he does with Lori, the Stu and Lori Variety Hour. And they're doing additional shows like, dating for seniors. And, so a lot of creative TV production going on there. And they've got a TV platform. And, so we're getting together and we're all doing this professional work, for, outward focus, for paying it forward and for helping communities and populations win, through the work that we do. And, this takes us to the segue in all of this to our friend Zach Clayton out of Colorado, that, the Denver market, where he got with our friend Santa Papa John. So Santa with his, place we all know in the North Pole. And then, Santa Papa John's summer, summer place, which is in Minnesota. And we also have Santa Mike out of the UK. So this kind of created a foundation to have another, great holiday production, a December production. And, it's all organized to be, live streaming starting on December 24th. And it's going to run for 37 hours. And it's going to be 37 hours of connection, family connection, cultural connections, community leaders, cultural leaders. And, we're going to be going through the different, holiday traditions, whether it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Festivus, you name it, as we connect to people who have a different, family and or culture tradition in what is practiced for them in December. They're invited in to be a part of this and to share the culture. And the idea is to build up, tolerance and to diffuse stigmas and to have this unity. And it's all about, the miracle of a community that cares. So we're going to be talking about, like Alan said, about our veterans is always a topic. And, we're going to look at all of these all the time opportunities to be in service and to do what we can, to help someone. Our friend Zach says, if you're not helping anyone, you're hurting everyone. So we're really excited about what we've got planned, across the next 10 weeks. That'll carry us out to what we're feeling strong about for the next dozen weeks, and just thrust us into, already thinking how awesome 2025 is going to be. So, but we're going to take one step at a time. You're hearing about a handful of things we got going to finish 2024, and we're going to make it a photo finish. So, Alan, what do you have to say on top of all this? What are we missing? What do you want to do before we conclude, this outreach and update?
Well, first of all, as always, I'd like to thank the podcast engineer, Ms. Emily Gomer, and yourself, Mr. Kurt Roscoe, who always have my back, and of course, EC Marketing for All, Kurt, Christian Mendez, who's going some things right now. We wanted to get some updates, but I wanted to let you know, for those of you who are listening in the world, around the world, around the globe, this is part of what we do. You never know who we are or what we're going to provide. And just wanted to say that we are looking for guests. So if you would like to be a part of this world, and you have, whether you have ability or disability, or you just have a voice to get out there, thank you. As we come closer to the events and so forth, I just wanted to say that we are here for you. We're here for you, to support you. Veterans, I love you. As a U.S. Army 13 Bravo, wanted to make sure the veterans are okay, make the veterans and their families okay, and understand that the events are here, and we are going to support you 100%. Make sure you check, as Christian always says, hashtag veterans, hashtag world of abilities. Thank you, all of you, for listening. Thank you for being part of the family, or family, as Denise Vargas always tells us. Thank you for a Happy Neighborhood Project for introducing me to Emily and Kurt. And thank you. So if see, I'm going to a thank you show. Thank you for just being you. So as we conclude, make sure you do um, hashtag the um, Word of Ability, the Zach Clayton's Community Pay It Forward, EC Marketing for All, and of course the incredible World of Abilities, and the the spirit of the games, and everything, including the young lady that always makes sure Kurt is on top of things, Miss Sue Roscoff, in her world within the Disability Channel. See, we want to, and for those who feel like I'm getting an Academy Award here, but no, I'm for the Word of Ability. No, it's because of the Word of Ability and everything that the Massive Connection is what we are, and we're going to continue to go. So my goal is to bring a next guest, maybe you out there looking, yeah, you right there who has a dream, who is listening to the audience. Thank you so much for being who you are. Make sure you check out FamilyShieldPro.com, which is a birth child of Mr. EC Marketing for All, Christian Mendez. And of course, make sure you tune in with the World of Ability and everything that's going to come on tonight and on the future. And reach out to us, massive of connections at gmail.com, if you have a bio and you want to be part of the guest. So go ahead and close it out, Mr. Kurt, Miss Emily. We love you and thank you for allowing us to be who we are as a entrepreneur and a mastery of connections. And it's because of all of you that this is happening. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Alan. Look at that. In rare form, once again, MC Holmes, talking it up like, once in a while I kind of talk like, I try to go for that rough and rugged side that, I kind of say there's a little bit of street talk, and what we got to do once in a while. We're out there with all these business people, and it's always like polished, and, everybody's about stature and all that great stuff. It's all great stuff. But we hang around with a lot of people that keep it real. And, we're living in a day where people are really, resonating with this whole thing of being genuine, authentic, and real and truthful, and not trying to fake it so much. That was a thing from back in the 80s and 90s and beyond that people still say today, but I don't think as much maybe, is fake it till you make it. So we're just making it with what we've got. We're going with what we've got here, and we're really amazed at what we're connecting here right through the show, and then what we do all week long in between these shows through the World Ability Podcast Network. So Emily, back to you for a little bit of your OMG EMG factor. Emily's middle initial is M, and you don't know what the M stands for, but I invite people to just pick a word that starts with M and make that Emily's middle name, like maybe magnificent. Emily, are you feeling magnificent? What are you thinking?
I just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in today and to check out all of our social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and so on. And like, share, comment on that. And to check out some of the great organizations that we work with, all the great stuff that they do, like Zach Clayton and the Pack Channel, being paid forward. Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios, Earl Williams with the Midwest Plainswood Podcast, Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Jay Ryan of the Disability Channel, and support what they're doing. So I guess and we're here every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. So I guess until next time, everybody has a safe and productive week, and to stay happy.
Y'all come back now, you hear?